In this video, you're going to get to hear from current players, our athletic director, Natalie Winkelfuss, and alums. And they're going to tell you all about all the wonderful things about Oberlin academically, athletically, and socially. So hopefully you enjoy all the snippets. It makes you understand why this is the place you need to be for the next 4 years.
I am Natalie Winkelfuss, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Athletics Advancement and the Delta Lodge Director of Athletics and Physical Education. What does that mean? It means that I raise money for the athletics department, and it means I oversee all the things in athletics as it pertains to varsity sport and wellness. That's what I do. And I've been at Oberlin College for approximately 12 years, if I'm good at math, but it's not my strong suit. I'm better with people.
My name is Christina Bribaneria, class of 2005. I graduated with both math and history majors and a minor in religion. I'm originally from Los Angeles, but went to high school in Houston, and that's actually where I got recruited by Oberlin.
I graduated in 2002 with a major in economics and mathematics. So I'm originally from Delaware, Ohio, but now I currently live in Washington, D.C., where I'm a Senior Director of Analytics at the Global Innovation Fund.
Annie Dunmeyer. I'm originally from Pemberville, Ohio, a small town in Northwest Ohio. Just completed my 20th year of coaching. So following graduation, I spent 2 years as a graduate assistant at Ashland University, where I got my master's, a year as an assistant coach at Indiana State University, and then was fortunate to get a head coaching position down at Virginia Wesleyan University, where I spent 16 seasons. Just completed my first year at Oberlin College.
Hi everyone, my name is Cheyenne Arthur, and I'm a player on the women's basketball team. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a fourth-year senior, and I'm majoring in biology, minoring in chemistry.
I'm Christina Marquette. I graduated in 2015. I majored in biology and environmental studies. I played all of the positions, and I'm from Southern California, and I currently am coaching basketball.
My name's Sammy. I'm a shooting guard, and I'm a psych major, and I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Hey everybody, I'm Coach Mo. I'm the assistant women's basketball coach here at Oberlin. I'm originally from Bloomington, Indiana. Graduated from college in 2014 and was in the basketball skills and performance training world for a little while, but wanted to get back into college coaching. So I've been here under Coach Dunmeyer for the past year.
But ultimately, I really have to say that I must attribute my mom to the decision to come to Oberlin College. She knew the value of a liberal arts education, and she informed me about Oberlin's reputation as a leading education institution. So that's probably the main reason why I ultimately came to Oberlin, is because of the information and the encouragement that I got from my mom. But also, I think, I had the opportunity to play basketball and run track, and so I think putting it all together, being at a great educational institution as well as still being able to play sports, was probably the main reason why I decided to come to Oberlin. I think most people know about these large universities, but I think I'm very, very grateful that my mom was really able to let me know, like, liberal arts education, especially for someone that was more of an introvert, was really, I think, the best fit for me. And I think at the time she kind of had a thought that I would probably go on to pursue graduate school. So she had said even at that time that, you can look at the Stanfords and the larger universities for graduate school. Oberlin, I think, is a great fit for you for undergrads.
Oberlin was really the perfect fit for me from both a professional and a personal standpoint. Personally, it was awesome to get back to Ohio, where I grew up in, to move my family back closer to my family, get back in the conference that I played in terms of the North Coast Athletic Conference. From a professional standpoint, Oberlin is just, such an awesome place, to be able to recruit the type of student athletes and to have the national reach that we have in recruiting was something that was really exciting to me. On my interview, it became obvious the group of student athletes were just different, and that they were people that were going to change the world. And that was just such an exciting thing to think about, and to be in an environment like that where you have such driven, motivated student athletes that are driven on the court, in the classroom, but also have such tremendous passions outside of both basketball and their classes, and that are really pushing the boundaries in terms of that. Oberlin as an institution, you know, again, been always on the forefront of just social justice, social change. And it's a very, I think, forward thinking place, which is, you know, one of the things that drew me back as well. People can come to Oberlin and be whoever they are. They can find out who they are, and they're going to be welcomed and really supported in that endeavor, which was something that I was really excited about for my family too.
You just really start to become attached to its purpose and its place. Oberlin College is like critically important to higher education. It's always been a leader, and I think right now, even in, you know, these trying and unprecedented times, as everyone keeps referring to them, and we're extremely important. I think that, you know, something that President Ambar always likes to say is, so goes Oberlin, so goes higher ed. And for me, I mean, that's a powerful statement. People are watching what we do all the time, good, bad, indifferent. They want to know what Oberlin's up to. And that's really cool to be at a place that matters, not just in the community, not just in the state, not just in the nation, but in the world. Like, that's amazing, right? But that also like creates a certain amount of pressure and challenge, right? To pressure to perform, pressure to, you know, I wouldn't say be perfect, but it's a situation where you're always being challenged, or at least you should be challenging yourself to think differently, be creative, value different perspectives, because without a diversity of thought and opinions, you'll stay flat. And that's just something that Oberlin is refusing to do right now. It's constantly evolving, and I just think it's a really cool place to be.
You know, realize that it was, you know, both an academically challenging, but one of the top, you know, 50 schools in the country. And, you know, I had this really great experience and opportunity to, you know, play basketball and, you know, get a great education at the same time. And so knowing that I had teammates who I also played with from Houston, knowing that I was going to a great school and I was going to get to pursue my love of basketball, you know, gave me the opportunity and confidence to really move up to Ohio and play for Oberlin.
I actually didn't know about Oberlin until I was being recruited for basketball, because it was just kind of like a wide college church for me. But once I did hear about Oberlin, I started doing my research and found out that they had a really good pre-health program. So that is really what drew me in. I think also just when I came to visit, it was just like a sense of community and like strong and like welcoming atmosphere that really drew me in.
It was like slightly out of my comfort zone, but like in a good way. It's weird now because obviously Oberlin has had some really good years, but at the time they had never like had a season where they were above 500. And so I was like super excited by the opportunity of like building a program and kind of coming in on the ground floor and like laying the foundation for something. I came to college with a ton of different things that I was interested in, and being at Oberlin allowed me to sort of explore all of those different interests to really determine what I like was passionate about and wanted to pursue. So kind of having like the time to explore different avenues. And then, I mean, obviously ultimately I ended up choosing basketball, but it was good to know that it was like, that was what I was passionate about, as opposed to like, oh, I'm just good at this, and like, so I'm going to keep doing it.
I knew someone who was already at Oberlin, so that kind of introduced me to the school. When I came on my visit, the team just kind of made me feel really welcomed. They already like treated me like part of the team, and I could just really see myself there.
For me, a big reason that I came to Oberlin was because of Coach Dunmeyer and the type of person that she is and the type of program that she's having to build. You know, Coach Dunmeyer and I have such synergies in terms of personalities and coaching styles, and it was something where it was just such a phenomenal opportunity that I couldn't pass up. I loved from my interview just being around Coach Dunmeyer. Her energy is infectious. She's such a fun and warm person. It was really easy to get behind what Oberlin stood for as an institution. I had a really similar type of high academic school that I went to and had a phenomenal basketball experience. And I think the D3 experience in general, it's just you get the holistic student athlete experience. You get to compete at a high level basketball wise. You get a phenomenal education where the degree means a lot. And then also, I mean, you get to be involved in so many different types of things. I think it's just such a special opportunity that I wanted to be a part of.
We believe in culture, the arts, the music. Performance is huge on our campus, and that's performance of athletics, music, art, theater, you name it, and we're doing it. The culture of caring, and I think that the best communities are those that perform for each other and stick out a helping hand, and that's Oberlin. The best teams care about each other, and they care about the work that they get to do and that they want to do, and that's caring is our competitive advantage. That's Oberlin College. When they pick you, right, and they want you to be a member of their team, like they're telling you that like you're a fit at that place. They're telling you that there is a tribe of humans waiting here to love you, to support you, and to help you be successful. And that's when I knew that Division III was my home.
A small town feel, but really a big city vibe, provided a space and experience for you to really think, and really to challenge the norm that I don't think most places let you do or allow you to do.
So Oberlin is very, very accepting of all types of diversity. I think you fit in. I think whether it's I honestly don't really know how to describe Oberlin, but there's a community for everyone, and all the communities to some degree overlap, right? So it's a very, very accepting space. It's a safe space. You make friends for life. I'm really fortunate to be here in DC, where there's still a lot of there's Oberlin alum that live here and work here. And so you run across someone that's graduated from Oberlin, whether you went there at the same time, we're still kind of have that connection, because we all had the same experiences here at Oberlin, where it was a very, very accepting and friendly place to be and attend.
I would almost use the word eclectic. I think there's so many just different people that you're going to meet. You're going to be surrounded by people from different backgrounds and just diversity in a ton of different ways, that again kind of push you out of your comfort zone, but also help you grow as an individual. With our student athletes, I think again, just a variety of backgrounds that they're coming from, and different things that push them, and they all have different whys for why they play and what motivates them in that instance. But it's just a really unique culture and community with that. I would almost say even a little quirky in a good way though. But it's different. It has its own niche, but it's a really special place.
Oberlin attracts like a well-rounded student athlete, like people who value their academics and also value athletics. You can just tell by the atmosphere that everyone cares about what they're doing. Everyone has a passion to do what they love and to learn in the classroom and to also work, whether that be on the court or off the court.
Open-minded, inclusive, passionate, strong-willed, like idealistic people, all trying to figure out their life together.
It's honest in the way that it states that the student experience matters. And when it says like you're going to get firsthand experience, working side by side, doing some crazy important research with a faculty member, you're going to. When we say in the athletics department that your experience is going to be great and you're going to make a difference, you will. When we say that you're going to be connected to an alumni network that is all over the country, all over the world, and is really doing things to make our world be a better society, like that's true. And so I think it's the connections and the people that you're allowed to, that you're empowered and that you're privileged to be connected with. That's the cool thing about Oberlin College. There's resources in people that is so much different. It's so different than other institutions. And I would just say the encouragement to be creative and think outside the box, like it's a very authentic approach to being bold. And that's what you're challenged to be at Oberlin is to be bold and be powerful and change the world.
I did teach for 3 years at a liberal arts college in California. And I do think that Oberlin just seems to be really, really unique in the sense that the dedication that the faculty had to teaching and to the students, to me, seemed to be unmatched. It's funny because I started off as a math major, but when I took my first econ course, to me, I saw economics as being applied math. And so that was really where that initial passion for economics came from. But I wasn't really thinking about what I could do with a degree in economics until I had more conversations with my professors. Oberlin also encouraged us to have a healthy balance between the sports we played and our academics. So I think it really took away any stress that I would have had, I think, if I had gone to another college or university.
Oberlin is different from a lot of other schools for the reason being like everyone's from very like diverse and different backgrounds. And like I was kind of saying earlier, everyone has some sort of passion that drives them, and Oberlin is a place that allows you to express how you feel and who you are, your identity in all aspects of your life.
Both math and history, you know, it kind of shows you like, and like minor in religion, it really shows you the type of education and flexibility that you have at Oberlin, where, you know, my main focus was math, but because I really liked history, I really liked, you know, learning about different cultures and things like that, I was able to take classes and, you know, end up with another major, which, you know, shows you, you know, both sides of my brain work. And so, you know, it was really a fun experience to, you know, not just have to focus on one thing. It trained us to be able to address different challenges, regardless of what major we were in. It taught us to, you know, how to talk to people, how to, you know, think differently about, you know, some of the problems that we were solving, you know, in class, how to communicate with our, you know, fellow teammates and, you know, our classmates. And, you know, honestly, like a lot of the skills that, you know, I use now are honestly because of, you know, the liberal arts education that I got. And you know, it's pretty amazing, actually.
I mean, so one, we really had to be focused. You know, it wasn't like our classes were easy. And so I think, and you know, you're kind of out on your own for the first time. And so you're trying to balance sports, academics, and a social life outside of those two things as well. But I think one, having some of my closest friends on the basketball court. I can tell you about one incident where we had an early morning practice. It might have been 6 o'clock. I'm not sure how early it was, but it was too early where I didn't want to get out of bed. And so I tried to call in sick, right? I left a message on Coach Gilbert's machine saying that I wouldn't be able to make practice because I was sick. And then I told my two teammates who happened to be like right next door to me, who their dorms were next door to me. And so I told them, like, I'm not going to be able to make practice. I'm not feeling well. And Coach Gilbert said, look, no one, she told my two teammates, do not show up to this gym unless Nzinga's with you, right? She said, Nzinga, you can sit in the gym if you're not feeling well enough to play, but you need to be here with your team. And they literally sat outside my door and said, you know, we can't go into the gym unless you're with us. So I think it really was, you know, this team environment where, you know, it wasn't just one person succeeding or getting better. As a team, we had to get better. As a team, we had to make that commitment to stay focused. And, you know, it was the same with my classes. You know, some of my classes, I had teammates in the classes as well. And so we would go to class together, we would study together. If one of us had taken a class that another one was currently taking, we'd work together, help each other through the problems or the assignments. And so it really was, I think, that team environment that helped get me through, but also push us to be the best that we could be.
I mean, I'm actually still friends with a good majority of my teammates. And so I think that says a lot about just, you know, our culture.
And then on Fridays, if we had 6 a.m. practice, we would, in the middle of the dining hall, watch Grey's Anatomy, because it aired on Thursday. So those were always like really fun memories. And then my senior year, we started doing Sunday brunches. And so one of my teammates would help me cook because we had like a basketball house. And so we'd do brunch on Sundays where people could come over. And then we also did over short term, we did this like cooking competition where each class got a like had to draw a cuisine. Like, so I think I had like Southern comfort food and someone had like Italian, and then they had to cook for the whole team, and we would like, it was like an appetizer, an entree, and a dessert that had to fit with that theme, and then we would like critique them.
It's been pretty fun. I've met like a lot of people that have guided me in my like basketball journey and in my like journey as a person as well. A lot of people like in the athletic community, and I feel like the athletic community is kind of like a family. We're all pretty like interconnected, and a lot of the sports teams like support each other and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Wake up usually and then eat breakfast in my dorm, and then go to class, go to Stevie to get lunch. If there's another class after lunch, I go to that class. Like sometimes we have those individual workouts, so like maybe an individual workout before lunch, maybe one after lunch. Finish up with my classes, maybe do like a little bit of homework, then head to the gym at like 4, practice from like 4:45 to 6:45, shower really quick, go get dinner from Stevie again, and then kind of just finish whatever homework I have and go to sleep and do it over again. Listen to music on my way to the gym, and then if it's like if it's a home game, I'll like keep listening to music, go to the training room. I'll usually wear like the same socks, stuff like that, that I wore the previous game, unless it's like a really bad game, then we'll switch it up. But wear the same socks and stuff, and then be in the gym, try to be out there shooting like an hour and like 20 minutes before the game, get shots up, and get myself ready to go before the warm-up an hour before.
Oberlin does a really great job at advertising the different communities that they have and different programs and different clubs that they have. I think a majority for the clubs that I've joined or been in since my freshman year. They include like the Black Scientist Guild. So that's like a group that's based off of like Black students who are in STEM to have like a sense of community with each other. There's also a lot of different other clubs like that I'm in. I'm also in the ASMA, which is for medical students or pre-medical students that want to apply to medical school or health programs and things like that. But just in general, there's just a lot of different clubs that are always like accessible. It just depends on who you want to contact and which club you want to join. I think there's a really good dynamic between the college and the conservatory. Just because we have like one of like the nationally ranked conservatories and just so many great musicians that actually go here, it's always good to just go to like someone's like senior recital or just like a free concert and Finney. It's just an amazing thing just to be around so many like talented people.
Me and 2 of my other teammates who were point guards, we were DJs at the Scope. So which is a campus club. So we got to DJ at least once a month at the Scope. So all of our friends and all the rest of the athletes in campus would come check us out. So that was super fun. Me and a few of our other teammates were part of this event called Colors of Rhythm. So I can't personally dance, but somehow I got, into it. And it's a cultural dance event that happens every spring. And basically people from all cultures get together and fundraise and do like a dance event or sing event. And we fundraise and use that money to donate to a local charity in Oberlin. So winter term, there are a couple years that I actually did undergraduate research. And so that was like another opportunity that I had at Oberlin during winter term. And then I also got to coach at the local high school basketball team. So I was actually the assistant coach for an entire season at Oberlin High School. My advisor was Chris Andrews, who happens to be Abby Andrews, who is another OB basketball player, her dad. And so the research that we actually did was developing mathematical formulas for home court advantage. So for 2.5 years, he and I analyzed all of the data for the NCAC and basically determined if there was a home court advantage for 20 or like it was like 20 years of data that we researched. We figured out that there was actually no home court advantage in the NCAC and that everybody was pretty evenly matched up.
Still is, but there was like a local farm for the high school where they would grow different things for their cafeteria, like just different. And I started that off with like an environmental studies class. We like, got partnered with them, and then I continued to work with them.
Life outside of basketball and school, there's a lot of cool different things that you can go to, like depending on what you like and what you're into. Like there is obviously like the conservatory with like a bunch of like great music and stuff like that. So if that's something you're into, you can do that. My roommate is in this like dance group called And What, which is pretty cool. So we go to watch her perform, which is pretty fun sometimes. Also, they have like, there's like a bunch of events at Finney Chapel on like Friday nights. There'll be like some events there. So like, there's like a poetry event that happened, just kind of like cool stuff like that. We have like some cool comedians come in sometimes and like perform. Also the SCO, we like sometimes go there on like Wednesdays. There'll be like people performing or like DJs, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
My freshman year, I actually played with Nzinga Broussard, who is another well-decorated, at the time, became the all-time leading scorer for the college, and is all over the record books too. So my freshman year, I was playing with Nzinga, and I started with her too. And so from the very beginning, I knew that I had to work extremely hard to really earn her respect as well as my other teammates' respect. And so after practices and before practices, I stayed and took probably hundreds of shots, just hundreds of shots, moving, stationary, because I wanted to, one, earn my right to be called a shooter.
I just wanted Oberlin to be good so bad. I just like really wanted it. And so that's like kind of what got me in the gym all the time. And like in or out of season, I would be doing individual workouts, whether it was by myself or with our coaches if we were in season, like watching film, just like sort of anything I could do to try to make our team better. Like I was trying to do it. And then all of the other stuff, like all the individual things just sort of happened.
I think I had a great coach and amazing teammates. Coach Gilbert, she probably was coaching. She is a Division I, Division II coach, right? And so I think Oberlin was really, really lucky to have her talent for at least the 4 years that I was there, but also the years that she was there before me. What she did to me and my teammates was she really helped us manage our athletic ability. Many of us came to Oberlin and just had raw athletic ability, but I think she really helped us define it into, really turn it into something as a team. So she really pushed us in that regard. I think she also really helped me work on my weaknesses. There were definitely strengths that allowed me to score as many points, get as many rebounds and steals and assists. But I think she really, really pushed me to develop the skills that I was weak at and really build my confidence on the basketball court.
So my senior year, I was looking for a job, and I had no job my spring semester, at the very beginning of my spring semester. And one of my bosses, so I worked 4 jobs, and one of my bosses, who happens to be Jill Lane, she was like, hey, I know somebody who's hiring to become a financial planner. Why don't you go talk to them? I know you're a math major, and I don't know exactly if this is a good fit, but go talk to this person. I went to go talk to this person, emailed them immediately, and had a job offer a month later. I decided after I graduated from college from Oberlin to really live in Cleveland and help build my financial planning practice initially in Cleveland. What was amazing is that as soon as I told some of my mentors and my teammates, they all rallied around me. They were like, Christina is going to be a financial planner. She wants to help, educate people about their finances. Heck yeah, I'll meet with her. And so honestly, some of my best clients from the very beginning of my career as a financial planner are actually OB clients, and are connections that I had through Oberlin. And it's because of the confidence and trust that they had in me as just a person, and knowing me as an athlete, they knew I was going to be working hard for them. That has really made me successful throughout the last 15 years of my career as being a financial planner. I said to myself, Oberlin, they took care of me. I want to make sure I take care of, future generations of students, and I actually hire Oberlin interns. I actually just hired an Oberlin pole vaulter as a full-time employee. This community, is just such a tight community. And I can't thank, the people at Oberlin enough for really, trusting me and, teaching me to kind of really just be the person I am today.
There's 2 things that I value professionally is in my career, in my professional life, is diversity and teamwork. And I think, as I just described, being on the basketball team and also on the track team while I was at Oberlin really helped me understand the value of team members, right? And so that's definitely something that I pursued in my professional career. And then also just having an environment where diversity is appreciated and welcomed. And I don't just mean, racial diversity or gender diversity. I think also the intellectual diversity, being able to think differently or to have different opinions and still be accepted, is something that I think I learned while I was at Oberlin and value in my professional life today. I started having the one-on-one conversations about opportunities that I wanted to pursue after graduating, whether it was entering into the workforce, the different types of opportunities that I could pursue, or the opportunity to go on and pursue a graduate degree. Those were conversations that I had with my professors, and they're not unique to me, right? So many of my classmates had similar experiences where, they were able to have very honest and frank conversations with their professors about the steps that we want to take after graduating.
I think obviously first and foremost, like the student athletes and the recruits and the families that I've come into contact with in terms of getting people on campus, have all been just such unique people, and just so cool to interact with everybody on that end. By far, our administration is just amazing, and Natalie and Craig and Carrie, Sarah, Erica, Mike, our whole administrative team is just tremendous at Oberlin. So it's been really, really fun. Blake, our men's soccer coach, one of my favorite people. But then just obviously our women's basketball coaching staff is just a tremendous group. Every day to have interactions with the people that we have on staff is great. Maureen Hurt, I just struck gold with her as my assistant coach, got to share an office with her. So, just really, really, I'm so fortunate to have really who I believe is the best assistant in the nation in terms of coaching and just as a person. So everyday interactions with that, but then across campus, really everybody I've interacted with has been tremendous. When we've reached out to professors for recruit visits or just in passing, all of our interactions with our admissions office, our director of admissions, our assistant director, any of the counselors, everybody's just there for the right reasons and all have the student experience in mind and wanting to find people that are the best fit for Oberlin and that can grow from and really, have Oberlin be their home for the next 4 years. So I can't really pinpoint one or two because it's been just such a positive experience across the board. President Ambar did a trick shot for us, you don't find that everywhere. You can't get the president of the college to just stop in and execute a trick shot, in the middle of her work day and everything. So it's been tremendous interacting with and getting to know all people across campus.
Aside of Coach Gilbert being, amazing role model, just an amazing person, I would also have to include all of my econ professors in the econ department. So, Gregory Hess, David Cleaton, Herschel Casper, Jim Zinzer, Barbara Craig, who I still talk to, right? I still talk to many of them. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have gone on and got a PhD in economics. And even while I was pursuing my PhD, so, the 1 to 6 years after graduating from Oberlin, they still advised me and guided me, provided me insight in terms of what I could do with a degree in economics. So like I said, I think they were very, very impactful for me personally and professionally.
You see your coaches every day and you go through some really low moments and some really high moments, and they're there to sort of support you in the low and celebrate with you when you succeed. So just kind of that support and mentorship has kind of shaped my growth as a leader, a person, an athlete. And then the other person I would say is Jill, our athletic trainer, who was just always, kept my body together for 4 years. I never had to sit out of a game, mostly due to her. But also just so full of really good advice and just always knew when to let you vent and when to tell you to get it together and figure it out. And so I really appreciated her.
I think my coaching staff throughout my 4 years has had a large impact on me. I also think my advisor, Professor Kathleen Cullen, has been really a true inspiration in my life. She's really been guiding me through the pre-med requirements and stuff like that and getting jobs and getting ready for the real world. So I'm really thankful for her for that.
Absolutely. First and foremost has to be Coach Dunmeyer. We formed such a strong bond this past year and just had an absolute blast getting to know her and her family. She's been one of my favorite people in this entire world, and she's really, truly changed my life. And then also getting to know our athletic director, Natalie Winkelfoos, who is just a phenomenal leader, such an important role model, I think, for me too, in terms of just showing the type of leadership that she has, the type of skills that she has, and how she's able to really impact and lead our athletic department in such a positive way, and has that grit, that competitiveness and that passion for people and helping people get better, was something that it's so easy to get behind that when you have people who truly lead in such a strong way and really walk the walk and put in the work.
There are so many moments that stand out, and I think they can be as big as every time, cross country wins a championship, when the women's basketball team won the championship, when baseball won their championship. And, that was the first time ever that we had a men's program capture a championship and launch us into the NCAA tournament. But, those moments are clearly I won't forget those experiences for our students in those situations. I love our OBs event, our end of the year celebration. red carpets rolled out, food trucks brought in. You know, we hear the stories of our student athletes, and to me, it's so important to know more other than Maureen. She's a great basketball player, right? Like, it's more important to me to know that Maureen is a kind, you know, contributing, like, positive human. You know, she's going to be a doctor, and, you know, I want to know names and stories. And so when we know the success stories of our student athletes, like that, those are the moments that I love. I love just to see people like walking together and, you know, like high-fiving and like fist bumping and sharing a laugh. Like, it's the little things to me that mean the most as an OB. We can get lost in the big picture stuff. I think it's easy for everybody to say, oh, that championship was really awesome. But it's everything. It's all those moments that took you there to win that championship. Those are the greatest moments.
Some of my favorite moments that I still kind of think about to this day would be the events that were held at the African Heritage House, particularly the soul sessions that took place. And, you know, I think that was an opportunity for me to witness my classmates display the talents that they had, whether it was singing, the instruments that they played, poetry, dance. You know, it was a great community and vibe at the African Heritage House. And so that's probably one of the things that I still think about to this day. And so the students who are in the conservatory are, you know, they're taking maybe the classical classes and doing very classical music, but then when they would come to the African Heritage House, it was an opportunity for them to ad-lib and just kind of play very creative about whatever, you know, came to them. And so I think a lot of the fun time that I had at Oberlin took place, outside of the academics and sports, took place at the African Heritage House.
My most memorable on-court experience has been senior night. And just like any student athlete's dream, just to be a senior and play in the sport that you love. And besides, like, beating the number 2 team in our conference was a great feeling. It was a great night.
You know, my favorite memory in this first year, I mean, Coach Dunbar and I, and our trick shots, Trick Shot Tuesday with Coach Dunbar is literally my joy break for the day. We just have a blast doing it, getting creative with it. We'll have to show you guys this, but she put in like a full Oberlin uniform and did a cartwheel into a trick shot one day. Like, she has an absolute blast. She's such a fun person to be around. She's also an extremely serious coach. I think she has that balance, which I think, you know, as a student athlete, I think I would really want as a coach that can do both. It's not just fun all the time, and it's not all just laid back and no accountability. She's an intense coach that wants to push you, but at the same time, she can laugh, she can have fun.
What a pass.
Days we do half court shots where it's she and I playing or going against the players in half court shots. So they would get, if we had 14 kids in the team, they get 14 half court shots, we get 14 half court shots, and we do the best of that and take the margin. And so, you know, we wiped the floor with them this year. We really did. And so it was always fun with our celebrations and stuff like that, getting hyped up before games and taking on the squad in half court shots was a lot of fun.
Got it!
And I think, you know, so much of it is about the little moments, the little conversations with Sammy about what it takes, you know, to really fulfill that potential, what it takes to be an all-conference player. You know, watching the extra film, putting in the extra hours with our players was such a fun experience, and seeing things click for them, I think, in ways both as leaders and with on-the-court type of stuff, learning a new move and being able to implement it. It's so fun for me. I think as a team and holistically, you know, one of my favorite moments was senior day. I think a lot of people talk about that, but it was just when it all came together for our team. You know, we were able to knock off the number 2 team in our conference at home and give our seniors the type of finale that they deserved in terms of their regular season and their final game at home. And the crowd was just going wild. Everybody contributed. Everybody stepped up. Coach Dunbar coached a phenomenal game. and everybody played for one another. And I think when you have that, that's that special moment. And for us, it's about, you know, building that consistency into next year, is having day in and day out that type of energy, no matter who's in the stands, no matter who we're playing, that same type of grit, that same type of intensity every single day.